Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to your YouTube channel and welcome to this lovely video today. As you can see over here, this video is basically an introduction to PandaPower and some details about how to install PandaPower inside Anaconda. For more details about Anaconda, please refer to the YouTube channel because there are couple videos over there explaining Anaconda and some introduction about Python. But before we start, I must tell you that all the opinions in this video belong to me, and also there are plenty videos in YouTube and many other sources that you can get the proper access to information regarding Anaconda and PandaPower. Both of them, they have YouTube channels, so I suggest to go over there. As usual, the slides will be available in my ResearchGate repository. You can see over here the link, and I highly suggest that you subscribe over there because that is a social media for scientists. So as a consequence, you take the advantage that you can receive slides, but also you can receive papers, and there are so much information over there. Also, as you must be aware, I have this GitHub repository. Over there, there are several practical elements of my trainings and the videos, so I highly suggest that you visit that GitHub repository. Of course, if you are watching this video, it's because you are in the YouTube channel. So if you like the videos and you want to keep informed about the actualizations, so please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you are interested to know about what we are doing in research and development, here you can find my Twitter and my LinkedIn account, so please subscribe over there. Finally, as you can see, there is an email over here. So if you have any question, feel free to drop an email and I will be extremely happy to answer. So what is the objective today? The objective today is to present a very brief background on PandaPower. Sorry. And then I will go for the installation of PandaPower inside Anaconda. So as you can see over here, today the agenda is very short. We will start with a very short background about Python, the programming language that many people know and we are using many courses. So then we will go to a background regarding PandaPower. So then we will install PandaPower in Anaconda, and that's all for the video today. So as you can see over here, we will start with the Python background. If you know me, probably you are aware that I don't like Python as programming language. And there are several reasons for that. And that is not relevant for this video today. Probably what is interesting is you can see over here, this is my version of the Python logo. The Python logo is quite interesting. I don't know if you are aware, but Python is a programming language and the name is coming from a British comedy series. Believe or not, is coming from a British comedy that was called Monty Python's Flying Circus. Yes, that is the reality. So basically, it's a program in the BBC, the British TV channel, and it was in 1969 for this Monty Python Flying Circus. So the logo in reality is two different Python snakes over there. You can see that there are a pair of them, and that is reflecting the identity of the programming language. Basically, you can see that there is here on the top, there is a snake and also another snake here. Both of them are facing opposite direction. forming a shape that is reminiscent of the letter P that is basically for the Python language. So if you look the original logo, remember this is my version using my purple and pink, but if you look at the original logo, there is a contrast of colors. Usually they use blue and yellow. And that is to emphasize the duality and interconnection within the language. So that symbolizes flexibility, versatility, and so many ideas behind the language grappling around different problems and solutions. So yes, Python, the programming language, you can see the logo over here, and it's coming from a comedy, but in reality, there are two snakes over there. So Python is a general purpose programming language. So for that reason, can be used for many applications. Probably the most famous application in modern times is data analytics and machine learning. But it can be used for many other things like web page design and so on. One of the interesting things is that the Python programming language is interpreted. And probably that is one of the reasons that I don't like so much. This is a high-level programming language that make difficult to do complex things at the low level, but also because it's interpreted. So we have the problem of having a time-consuming interpreter reading the commands and then translating into machine language and then running the thing. So in that sense, I don't like this software because for real-time applications, well, it's not probably the best option. What is interesting and is very useful is that this is an object-oriented programming language. So as a consequence, you can use the concept of object and all the philosophy behind. So that's make this software very powerful. It's an object-oriented scripted language. So if we look the history, Python programming language was developed in late 1980s. Yes, that is true. In December 1989 was developed by this gentleman over here. You can see here the photo. His name is Guido van Rossum. He was in the CWI, that is basically a center for informatics in Netherlands. So that is the origin of Python, the implementation of Python in 1989. And the first release was Python 1.0, and it was in 1994. Then we have Python 2.0 in 2000. And of course, then we have Python 3.0, that is probably the version that many of you are using in your computer, and that started in 2008. 2015, that is the moment of the end of life for Python 2.7. So 2020 is the end of life for Python 2. And today, 2025, well, the last release that you can download from the python.org is the 3.13.2. So what is the reason for Python programming? Well, because Python programming is open source, so that makes collaboration and developing very interesting. And today, 2025, is still the most, I will say, the most used programming language. So as you can see here on the top left-hand side, there are some statistics over there. You can see number 1, Python, followed by Java, then you have C dash, PHP, Z, R, and then you have here, probably near to the bottom, you can see MATLAB. So yes, the reality is Python with 25.95 is the most popular developing software for programming. So here at the bottom we have MATLAB, but many students love to create codes in MATLAB. So before we move forward, I need to tell you something about the terminology. Inside Python, we have at least 6 different words, 6 different terms that they are very, very important. In this table, the bottom one, function, is probably the lowest level, and you can see that the function is basically a block of code. But this block of code is dedicated to performing a very specific task. So you can call that very specific function and you can give some arguments, and from there you will get a result. So later we will play around with Python, but one of the function is len, L-E-N. So this function in Python is basically a function that returns the length of the object. So it's quite powerful when we are trying to get the size of a vector or array. Then we have here another term that is the module. Module is basically a single Python file that inside there is Python code, and you can have a combination of function, classes, and variable. So for instance, by default, Python has something that is called the math module, that inside you can have functions like the sine, art, the cosine. So this is the concept of the module. Then we have the package. The package is more organized, and the idea is to create or to establish an organization related to modules in a single and easy way to distribute this. So typically, a package must include what we call a init.py file. That is basically the way that you create the order between the different modules and provide the related functionalities. So believe it or not, Pandas is a package, and inside Pandas there are several modules for data manipulation and analysis. But we can see that also there is something called library, and the library is basically some codes that is already created, including functions, classes, and the idea is that they are connected together to produce a common task. So Pandas is also a library dedicated for data manipulation, but there are many others. Probably later I will tell you there are many, and depend of the application, you have many of them. So NumPy is one that also we are using in several modules that is basically for numerical manipulations. And also this one, Matplotlib, is very important because we will use that for data manipulation. Then when you are moving to the highest level, we have the framework and the application. The framework is basically, again, pre-writing code, but in this case, is providing you the foundation for creating or developing applications. An application is the target. Applications, they are complete and standalone programs that they perform some activity, some function defined by the user. And you are very familiar with the applications because that is what people face. This is, for instance, Netflix, Instagram, Google, Uber, Pinterest, or Dropbox. So what I am telling you is that those applications are created based in a framework. And inside this framework, for instance, if you are developing websites, Django is one of the framework that is quite frequently used, but more important for us, because we are working with machine learning frameworks, TensorFlow is one of the most known framework for machine learning. So again, there are 3 different levels here. Module is basically contain definition, function, classes, variable. Package interconnect those modules, and library is basically the collection of those of those very different modules. And when I say that there are many libraries, is because, for instance, here I have a plot on the top left-hand side that you can see the Python libraries in 2024. And if you look here in the Python libraries 2024, you can see that TensorFlow is located here with 10 score, one of the more popular, but also together with one library that is called PyTorch. PyTorch is probably the competence or the rival of TensorFlow. Both of those frameworks and libraries has been used for machine learning for many years. And over here you can see Pandas and NumPy, again, two very famous libraries for data manipulation, okay? So here on the right-hand side, you can see that there are many libraries for machine learning. You can see that NumPy can be used, TensorFlow, you can see here PyTorch, you can see here SciPy, you can see Keras, and also one that is quite used, that is Scikit. If you are developing website, well, probably Django is one of the most used, but also Flask. And here there are more other libraries. There are some other libraries for automation, image processing, game development, and web scraping. However, today this video is related with PandaPower. And PandaPower, as you can see, the name is the combination of Panda plus Power. So what is Pandas? Pandas is basically an open source library that is dedicated for data manipulation and analysis, but it's built using Python programming language. It's widely used for many applications, data science, statistics, machine learning. And one of the important reasons for that is because Pandas is quite strong, quite powerful in terms of data structure and data capabilities. When I say data structure is because inside Pandas, we can use the classical series that is a one-dimensional array-like object, but more important is the data frame. Data frames, they are extremely powerful because they are multidimensional, where the size can be mutated, can be changed, and also, you can use different type of data inside the structure, and you can use also different type of labels for the access. So that flexibility in the data structure and the indexes for labeling the data, that made this Panda very powerful with the concept of data frame. Pandas can be used for many applications like data alignment, flexible indexing, data cleaning, data transformation. But probably one of the very interesting things is that Panda can be integrated with other libraries, especially regarding data input and output, where you have several different formats, starting from the very simple CSV, going to Excel, but going into SQL and just on. So yes, Pandas is very powerful. But on the other side, PandaPower started as an extension of a very famous power flow solver that is called MathPower, and later become PyPower as extension of MathPower. As you can see, the name MathPower is because MathPower was originally an open source package for MATLAB and GNU Octave. So in this case, the MathPower was very popular inside the MATLAB community because allow, for instance, changing data using .math, that is the MATLAB format. So inside you can include the grid data and many other things. PandaPower is very powerful, started with power flow, continuation power flow for voltage stability analysis, optimal power flow, and unit commitment. But on the other hand, PyPower is an open source power flow and optimal power flow solver in Python. So from PyPower, we create PyPower, and PyPower today have the possibility of analyzing DC and AC, optimal power flow, and traditional power flow. For traditional power flow, Newton method is applied together with fast decouple. There are many examples, and if you go to GitHub, you can find many test systems. And also, this PyPower allows the integration with many Python libraries. So, from there, PandaPower started. And PandaPower, as you can see over here, basically combined the data analysis library Panda with the power flow solver, PyPower. And the idea was to create a tool that will allow calculation for power networks, and originally was targeted for distribution and transmission network, but today is working as a power system analysis tool. So on the other hand, this has been growing and growing in terms of flexibility and expanding the library. So this Pandas Power is becoming more and more used. PandaPower was created in Germany. Basically, it was a development by the research group in energy management and power system operation at the University of Kassel in Germany, but together with the Fraunhofer Institute of Wind and Energy System. So today, PandaPower has several power system analysis functions, including the classical power flow, optimal power flow, state estimation. And in recent time, we have included some very exciting functionalities like the short circuit calculation, but also topological graph searches. There are many benefits. Of using PandaPower that include that there is a very well connection with Python libraries. So if you are interested in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and so on, you can connect with PandaPower, and it will be easy to define scenarios, cases, and produce data for training, and so on. Also, because there are so many good libraries, so visualizing and analyzing results is something very powerful with PandaPower. So a very interesting aspect is that PandaPower can run in a parallel. So parallelization is a possibility, so that will increase the speed of your simulation, and also is very simple to connect with other libraries, so it can be run in many computers and platforms. So now it's time for the job today. The idea today is that we want to install PandaPower inside Anaconda. And as I say before, I spent a couple videos talking about Anaconda, what is Anaconda, how you create environments inside Anaconda. And this is a very short video, very simple video, because what we want to do is basically install PandaPower inside Anaconda. As you must be aware, Anaconda has what we call a shell, something like the command prompt inside Windows. So you will be able to use that console to make the connections that you require. So what I am telling you now is that inside Anacondas there is a Conda, and Conda is basically a package management and environment management that is designed to make your life easy when you are dealing with environments. So This conda is quite popular. It's similar to PIP, that you use in the classical Python environments. So to install Conda, to use Conda to install PandaPower is very simple, because what you need to do is basically go to the shell and write this command, Conda install Conda forge PandaPower, and you will be able to install PandaPower there. So without further delay, I would like to show you the process. So right now what I will do is I will go to one of the computers inside the lab, and now I will show you the installation process, and let's go there. Okay, hello everyone. Well, here we are inside one of the computer in the lab, and I just started over here. You can see that I started Anaconda Navigator, and you can see this is the home of Anaconda Navigator, but we are interested to install PandaPower. So to install PandaPower, we need to go inside the environments. And you must remember that in a previous video, I explained to you how to create and manage those environments. And you must remember, or if you don't remember, you can go back to the YouTube channel and watch the video. So let's activate here this environment over here. And in this case, I am activating the environment that we create in that very specific video, and the name of that environment is FG-Longatt 1. Okay, so right now Anaconda is activating, or now is already activated over here. Yes, so the plan is that we want to do the installation. To install any library inside my environment, what I need to do is basically over here, open the Anaconda shell. And to do that is a very simple process. What we need to do over here is basically, we can open the menu, and over there select the shell. Okay, let's do that. So here you can see that there is a terminal over here, and I will say open terminal. And you will see something similar to the command prompt that you can see in your classical Windows. And here you can see FG-Longatt 1, and that is because we are inside the environment that is active. And in this case, the environment that is active is basically the FG-Longatt 1. So let's write here Conda space. Then we need to say install, and then Conda forge, then PandaPower. So PandaPower is going to spell over there. Let me fix it. I didn't fix it. So we need to see. No. So here we can open the terminal. This terminal is similar to the one that you open with the command prompt. And now what we need to do is use the command line. And in this case, with the command line, we need to write the command that I showed you during the presentation. So to do that, we will write here conda. Conda here. Yes, conda space install space conda forge, and then we need to put over here PandaPower. So let's press the return here, enter. And now it's connecting to the Conda Forge, and it's looking for install this PandaPower. So this is something that will take a bit of time depending on your internet connection speed, and also depending on your CPU, RAM, and in general source, the resources that you have inside your computer. So let's wait. Meantime, it's doing the job. So it's look like the installation is already done. Let's do the following. Let's check over here. We should have somewhere here PandaPower, okay? So you can see over here that we can identify on this right-hand panel the location of PandaPower, and in this moment is 2.14.9, okay? So how do we test if PandaPower is properly installed? So let's go back here to home, and now let me open Spider. So here we are. This is a Spider. And what I will do here is basically import PandaPower. So right now I am using the console inside. Spider in order to import this library that is called PandaPower. So as you can see, we didn't get any errors. So it's clear, it's evident that this is working. So let's go back to the presentation because we are reaching almost the end of this video. Well, We are reaching the end of this video, and we have successfully installed PandaPower inside Anaconda. And of course, I provide to you some introduction about Python, libraries in Python, and more important, PandaPower. So now it's time to start to use this amazing and beautiful software inside your computer and start to use PandaPower for power system analysis. Well, this is the end for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and I just tell you bye now.